So good morning everyone. Today we're going to start with our next topic in surveying one, that is your theodolite. So this is the syllabus related to your theodolite. In this we are going to study about the objectives of theodolite surveying, various part of your transit theodolite, what are the different parts, what are the name of that particular part in your theodolite, technical terms which are used in theodolite surveying, temporary and permanent adjustment, measuring of horizontal and vertical angles, method of repetition, reiteration, computation of latitude and departure, balancing of traverse by body transit rules, third rule, and modified transit rule, missing data problems, precautions in using theodolite, what are the errors caused in theodolite surveying, and so on. So first, with the introduction, so basically in the classification of surveying we have seen that one of the category of the surveying was your theodolite surveying, which was given by the name of the instrument. So theodolite is nothing but is your instrument. It is generally available for having a least count of 10 second or 20 second. Okay. It is generally used for measuring theodolite is basically used for measuring horizontal and vertical angles. Okay, you can measure an angle up to 10 second and 20 second in this. Earlier we were using compass, which was having a least count of 30 minutes, so you can get a very accurate angle of at least 10 second or 20 second by theodolite surveying. Because of its various use, theodolite is also sometimes called as universal instrument. So theodolite is sometimes also called as universal instrument because of its varieties of use. Because it can be used for horizontal angle, it can be used for vertical angle, it can sometimes use for your ranging, it can also use for calculating the horizontal distance sometime. So it can be used for various purpose. So that is why it is also sometimes called as universal instrument. So in this picture you can see that this is an theodolite given over here. Okay, it consists of a telescope. Okay, this is a focusing screw through which you can focus your image of the object, and you can see that there is a circle in which you can measure the horizontal angle with the help of this prism. Okay, there are 3-foot screws provided at the bottom, which are generally used for leveling purpose. As you all know that whenever you take readings, the line of sight must be perfectly horizontal. To make the line of sight perfectly horizontal, these foot screws are generally used, and the procedure is same that was used in the dumpy level. That first we have to keep this foot screw, this telescope parallel to the 2-foot screw, then move your foot screws inward around outward simultaneously, and then we have to check whether the bubble is coming at the center or not. Then we have to keep it to the perpendicular to the 3rd foot screw. Then we have to turn the foot screw inward or outward till your bubble is coming to the center. Then rotate the telescope 180 degree or 360 degree and check whether at every point your level is coming at the center or not. Okay, so in this way you can do your temporary adjustment, which is similar to what we have done in your dumpy level also. Okay, as I've told you, it is called as a universal instrument. Why it is called universal instrument? Because it is used for various purposes, such as horizontal angle you can measure with the help of theodolite. Okay, you can also measure vertical angle with the help of theodolite. You can measure deflection angle through theodolite. Deflection angle means what? Suppose there is a road. Okay, this is the alignment of the road, and there is a sudden change in the alignment of the road. So this particular angle, this angle, which has been created between the tangents, first tangent and the second tangent, is called as your deflection angle. Okay, so this is your deflection angle, which can also be measured with the help of your theodolite. Measuring of magnetic bearings. I have told you, with the help of compass we generally used to measure the magnetic bearing. Magnetic bearing is nothing but the bearing with measures with respect to north direction is called as your magnetic bearing. Or bearing is, in general definition, it is said that if the compass showing the geographic your magnetic north and south, so angle measured with respect to your magnetic north and south is generally termed as your magnetic bearing. Okay, measuring of horizontal distance between 2 points is also possible with the help of your theodolite. Next one, vertical height of an object is also possible, that we have seen in your trigonometric leveling, which we have done in the previous class. Vertical height was measured with the help of your theodolite. Next one, difference of elevation between the various points, and then ranging of line. So these are all the purpose which for which your theodolite is generally used. So that is why it is also called as your universal instrument. The next one, this is a photo of your theodolite. Now, theodolite basically of two types. One is your transit theodolite, one is your non-transit theodolite. Transit theodolite is what? In transit theodolite, the telescope of the telescope can be revolved through a complete revolution about its horizontal axis in a vertical plane. So you can turn your telescope what? Upside down. Okay, you can turn your telescope what? Completely. You can revolve your telescope. So that type of theodolite is called as your transit theodolite. Non-transit theodolite is what? In non-transit theodolite, your telescope cannot be revolved through complete revolution in the vertical plane. So you cannot completely revolve it. Okay, you can revolve it to a certain extent, but not completely. So that is the two type of theodolite which are available. One is your transit, one is your non-transit. Transit is the one in which you can revolve the telescope in the vertical plane completely, and non-transit is the one in which you cannot revolve the telescope completely, but up to a certain extent. Okay, so these two type of theodolites are available in the market. Okay, the most commonly which has been used is your transit theodolite. Okay, this is a diagram of your transit and non-transit theodolite. This is your transit theodolite, it can revolve completely. Okay, in the vertical plane. This is your non-transit theodolite which cannot revolve completely, it can revolve up to a certain extent only. After that, some important terms which are required in your theodolite surveying is your centering. This we have already seen that generally instruments are installed on your tripod stand. So this point should be exactly matched with the point on the ground. So for that purpose, centering is done with the help of plumb bob. Okay, plumb bob is generally used, or if plumb bob is absent, so we can use a small stone instead of your plumb bob. Okay, what you have to do, you have to drop a small stone and it should meet exactly the point of which you are taking the reading. Okay, so either plumb bob or stone can be used for your centering purpose. Then transiting means what? If you are revolving the telescope through 180 degree, then it is called as your transiting. The method of turning the telescope about its horizontal axis in the vertical plane through 180 degrees is termed as transiting. Okay, the word transiting result in change in phase. Okay, so whenever there is change in phase, you have to do transiting. If you are revolving your telescope by 180 degree, suppose it is front face is here and you are revolving it 180 degree and bringing your front face on this side, then you are revolving it to completely by 180 degree. Okay, so this type of process is called as transiting. Okay, it is generally done for what? Change in phase. Whenever you need to change the phase. What is this change in phase? That we will see in the next part. Okay, so face left means what? You can see that in this picture there is a vertical circle given over here. This vertical circle means what? When you are making an observation through the telescope and this vertical circle is on the left hand side of your face, then it is called as your face left. And if you are taking an observation and this vertical circle is on this side, on the right hand side, then it is called as your face right. Okay, so in order to change this phase, we have to do what? Transiting. For that purpose, generally your transiting is done. Okay, so the one is your face left. Face left means that the vertical circle of the theodolite is on the left of the observer at the time of taking reading. Then it is called as face left. Okay. Next, face right. This refers to the situation when the vertical circle of the instrument is on the right of the observer when the reading has been taken. Then it is called as face right. Okay. Now changing the phase operation is what? Suppose your vertical circle is on the left and you have to change it to the right. So that procedure is called as what? Changing phase. From bringing the vertical circle from left to right or from right to left, that is called as the changing phase operation. The operation of bringing the vertical circle from one side of the observer to other side is known as change of phase. Okay. Now next is the swinging the telescope. Swinging means what? This indicates turning the telescope in the horizontal plane. So if you are turning the telescope in the horizontal plane, suppose this is your circle and you are turning the telescope from here to this side. Okay, from here to this side, from here to this side. Okay, so this swing is nothing but your swing of the telescope. This indicates turning the telescope in the horizontal plane. It is called as right swing when the telescope is turned clockwise. So if you are moving the telescope in the right side, then it is called as your clockwise or right swing. And if you are swinging it on the left side, then it is called as your if you are turning it anti-clockwise, then it is called as your left swing. So if you are turning it clockwise, then it is called as a right swing. If you're turning it anti-clockwise, then it is called as your left swing. Okay, so this was face left, face right, changing face, swinging the telescope, left swing and right swing. Next terms, line of collimation, axis of the telescope, axis of the bubble tube. This all things we have seen in the Dumpy level already while performing the permanent adjustment of Dumpy level. So line of collimation, as I've told you, it is an imaginary line passing from the center of what? Object glass as well as the diaphragm and the center of eyepiece. That line is called as your line of collimation. Axis of the telescope. The axis is an imaginary line passing through the optical center of the object glass and the optical center of the eyepiece. Line of collimation and the axis of telescope are same, and it should both should coincide with each other. Okay, that was the relation in your Dumpy level. Axis of the bubble tube. It is an imaginary line, as I've told you. In theodolite also there is a bubble tube provided over here. So the line which is tangent to this bubble tube is called as the axis of the bubble tube. So imaginary line tangential to the longitudinal curve of the bubble tube is called as your axis of the bubble tube. Next one. These are basically, this diagram is showing the imaginary line, which is your line of collimation. This line is called as a line of collimation. This is called as the axis of the telescope. This is your vertical angle line. This is your horizontal axis. This is your vertical axis. Next one, vertical axis, as I've told you, along which it can revolve. This is your vertical axis, along it can revolve in the horizontal plane. Your telescope can revolve in the horizontal plane. You can measure any horizontal angle along this plane. That is called your vertical axis. Horizontal axis is what? The axis along which you can measure vertical angle. So this is your horizontal axis along which you can measure your vertical angle from 0 to 90 degree or from 0 to 180 degree. Okay. Then it is called as, then there is another term which is called as temporary adjustment. Temporary adjustment is it is a familiar word which we have already studied in your leveling chapter. So temporary adjustment is what? Whenever you shift your instrument to a new position, you will have to perform temporary adjustment. Temporary adjustment is generally done to make the line of sight perfectly horizontal. Okay. The setting of the theodolite over a station at the time of taking an observation is called as temporary adjustment. Next one is your permanent adjustment. As I've told you in Dumpy level also, that there is certain desired relationship between the levels of your theodolite as well as your Dumpy level, and because of the excessive use of the instrument and because of improper handling of the instrument, sometimes this relation get disturbs. So whenever you are starting a new work, you should firstly see that the relation which are generally given for your permanent adjustments are perfect or not before starting the work. If they are perfect, then only you should use the instrument. If it is not perfect, then you have to perform what? Permanent adjustments. Okay, so we'll see both temporary adjustment as well as permanent adjustment in theodolite also. Okay, next one, least count. This is not that much important. Diaphragm. Okay, diaphragm. Whenever you see through a telescope, you must have seen that there is a diaphragm, a circular shape, and which consists of a vertical hair, which consists of a horizontal hair. This is nothing but your diaphragm. Okay, so whenever you are taking an observation, you generally bisect this center with the your leveling staff. Okay, so this line, wherever it is meeting with the your leveling staff, that reading is generally taken. Okay, so it is generally used for this purpose only, diaphragm. Okay, sometimes it is provided with only what? Vertical and horizontal hair, and sometimes it is also provided with upper hair and lower hair. If it is provided with this type of arrangement, then it is called as your tachymetric level. That is called as a tachymetric level. Okay, so this can be your diagram inside your diaphragm. Okay, next one. So over here there is a diagram, there is a photo given of your diaphragm. So you can see that an observation has been made with the help of theodolite, and you can see that there is a vertical hair over here and there is a horizontal hair over here. There is upper hair, lower hair. Okay, there is side hair, left hair, right hair also. Okay, so these are the different type of diaphragm which are available in the market. Okay, This trivet is not that much important. Transit theodolite. These are all the different parts of the theodolite. So I will not explain the total part. You can take a snapshot of this, okay, and try to understand the different parts of your theodolite. All the parts are been mentioned in given in this diagram. Okay, this is tripod leg, tripod head. This is trivet. This is leveling screw used for leveling purpose. This is tryback, outer spindle, inner spindle, lower plate, vernier, upper plate, plate level, eyepiece, vertical circle, okay, vertical clamping screw, altitude bubble, telescope, objective, vertical axis. So these are all the different parts of your theodolite. Okay. So first one is your foot screw. Okay, since it is the most important, these foot screws are required for what? These foot screws are generally required to make the line of sight perfectly horizontal. Okay, while you performing any observation, the line of sight should be perfectly horizontal. For that, a leveling tube has been provided on the topmost side of the telescope. So these are meant for the leveling instrument, leveling the instrument. So foot screws, as I've told you, it is generally used for leveling the instrument. The lower part of the foot screws is trivet by means of balls and socket arrangement, and the upper threads part passes through the threaded hole in the tryback plate. Okay. Next is your tryback. So tryback is where it is above your foot screw, this part. Okay, so tryback, for what purpose it has been used? It is a triangular plate carrying 3 foot screw at its end. So the 3 foot screws are generally attached to this tryback only. Then there is a leveling head. So this total assembly, I think it is called as the leveling head. The trivet, foot screw, tryback, this all together form a leveling head. Okay, so 3 things are included in your leveling head. One is your trivet, foot screws, and your tryback. So all 3 together form a leveling head. Okay, next is your spindles. Spindles are where above your leveling screws and your tryback. There are 2 types of spindle: outer spindle and inner spindle. Okay, so spindles, the theodolite consists of 2 spindles or axis, one inner and other outer. So basically we have 2 spindles over here. One it is inner, one it is outer. The inner axis is solid and conical, and the outer is hollow. So the inner one is your solid and conical, and the outer one is hollow. The 2 spindles are coaxial to each other. Okay, then next is your lower plate. So basically lower plate is generally used for measuring the horizontal angle. The lower plate is attached to the outer axis, and it is also known as a scale plate. It is beveled, and the scale is graduated from 0 to 360 degree. So lower plate is basically used to measure your horizontal angle. You can measure an angle up to 0 to 360 degree. Okay, then there is upper plate. The upper plate contains a vernier scale. So you can measure an angle from 0 to 360 degree in your lower plate, but in upper plate we have been provided with a vernier, so that we can also take the reading in terms of seconds also. So for that purpose your vernier scale is provided. So vernier A and B is been provided. It is attached to the inner axis. It is generally attached to the inner axis. The motion is controlled by the upper clamping screw. So there are some clamping screws which are generally used to release the upper plate and the lower plates. Okay, so their motions are generally controlled by upper clamping and lower clamping screws. Okay, or you can say tangent screws. When the clamp screw is tightened, the vernier scales are fixed. So whenever we clamp the screw, the vernier scale gets fixed, and the inner axis and with the inner axis, and for the fine adjustment the scale is tangent screw is rotated. So for clamping purpose, upper and lower screw, upper tangent and lower tangent screws are used, and for fine adjustment your tangent screw is rotated. Okay, finer adjustment, your tangent screws are rotated. So this is about your lower plate and upper plate. So this is a diagram you can see over here. This is your upper plate, which is provided with you can see there is a screw over here which is called as upper clamp. Okay, then this is your lower plate. Okay, so another screw is provided for lower clamp. Okay, so this is how your spindle works. This is outer spindle, this is your inner spindle. Vernier B has been provided on this side, vernier A has been provided on this side. Next, plate bubble. Plate bubbles are generally provided to make sure that your instrument is perfectly level or not. For that purpose, plate level is provided. Okay. Standard A frame, as you can see that in the diagram, A type of frame is provided in which your whole assembly has been fitted. So let me show you the diagram of that. Where is the diagram of the light? So over here you can see that there is a frame of the shape A, and you can see the whole assembly is being fixed in that. So for that purpose, your frame has been given to hold the different parts of the theodolite. Over here you can see also there is a diagram given. This is an A-shaped frame, and the whole frame holds all the different parts of your theodolite. Then telescope. Telescope is generally provided to bisect the object so that you can clearly view the object even though it is at a larger distance from your point. Okay, for that you have been provided with a focusing screw. So by using this focusing screw, you can make the image clear on the telescope. There is an eyepiece also provided. The eyepiece are provided to clear the diaphragm picture. Okay, and there is clamping screw also provided so that you can hold your telescope at one particular point. Okay, and tangent screws are also provided for some minor adjustment. Okay, then vertical circle. Vertical circle is also provided in your theodolite, which is generally used to measure vertical angle. You can measure an angle up to 0 to 90 degree. Okay, in your vertical circle. So this circle is nothing but your vertical circle. This is your horizontal circle. Over here you can measure your horizontal angle. Over here you can measure your vertical angle. Then index or T-frame. The index bar is provided on the standard front of the vertical circle. It carries two vernier C and D. So this is an index frame. Then there is altitude bubble. Long sensitive bubble is provided on the top of the index bar. The bubble is brought to the center by the clip screw at the time of measurement of the vertical angle. So this is index frame is somewhere here. This frame in which your vertical circle has been holding is called as your index frame. It consists of what? C and D vernier. Okay. So whenever you take vertical angle, you must have seen you may see that there is a vernier which is C and there is a vernier D. Okay. So for measuring the angle up to second, for this vernier C and vernier D has been used. Okay. Then altitude bubbles are also provided. So altitude bubbles are generally used to what, while making vertical angle, the altitude bubble should be what, at the center. Then next, compass is also sometimes provided. Compass is generally provided to measure the magnetic bearings with the help of your theodolite. Sometimes a circular compass box is mounted on the vernier scale between the standard. In modern theodolite, an adjustable trough compass or a tabular compass can be fitted with the screw to the standard. So basically, compass generally to show your north direction, because mostly surveying is done with the help of north direction. So for that purpose, compass is used. And also, while starting the chapter, we have also seen that theodolite can also be used to measure magnetic bearing. So for that also, you will require what, magnetic north. For that purpose, compass is sometimes provided in the theodolite. And if it is not provided, you can additionally add your compass to your theodolite. Okay. Okay. The next thing is your temporary adjustment of theodolite. So as I've told you, whenever you shift your instrument to a new station, you have to perform temporary adjustment. So the first thing which is in your temporary adjustment is setting up the theodolite over the station. So for that purpose, a tripod stand has been placed over the required station. The theodolite is then shifted from the box and fixed at the top of the stand by means of a wing nut and according to the fixed arrangement provided along with the instrument. So basically, a tripod stand has been given. Okay, so you will approximately fix over that particular point, and you will try to mount your theodolite on that. Okay. After that, next is your approximately leveling by tripod. So you have your tripod stand. So you will try to adjust these three legs of the tripod stand so that your level, your instrument is approximately level by that. So the legs of the tripod stand are placed well apart and firmly fixed on the ground. Then approximately leveling is done. So for approximately leveling, how you can perform with the help of tripod, you need to fix one uh, two leg of your tripod firmly inside the ground, and with the help of the third leg you will try to adjust the theodolite so that it is approximately level. To do this, two legs are kept firmly fixed on the ground and the third is moved in or out clockwise or anti-clockwise so that the bubble approximately comes at its center. Okay. uh, the next one is your centering. As I've told you, generally the points we do serving to locate the points on the ground. So points are generally on the ground, and the tripod and is all generally the instrument is generally kept on the tripod stand. So for that purpose, uh, we need to make this tripod stand exactly match the this point exactly match with the points on which is on the ground. So for that purpose, generally plumb bob is generally provided. We need to uh, lower the plumb bob from this, okay, and it should exactly meet at the point on the ground. Okay, so this is how your centering is done. If plumb bob is not available, you will have to take a small stone and drop a small stone from that, and you can do centering with that also. Okay, next one, leveling is basically done with the help of what? With the help of your 3-foot screws. So generally 3-foot screw, how it is done, I think the diagram must be given over here. Okay, see over here. So the level tube is firstly kept parallel to the 2-foot screw, okay, A and B, and you have to move this foot screw inward or outward till the bubble is coming to the center. Then the next position is what you need to keep the bubble perpendicular to the 3rd foot screw, and you have to turn this foot screw until the bubble is coming to the center. Then you will rotate the telescope through to 360 degree, and you will see that whether at every point the bubble is at the center or not. If it is not at the center, you will have to perform the same operation again. Okay, so unless and until it is coming to the center at all the point, you will have to perform this operation, which is called as this leveling. Okay, hope it is clear. Next, this is what I've already explained. Then there is your focusing of the eyepiece. So eyepiece is generally provided at the end of the theodolite. So as you can see in this diagram, where's the diagram? Okay, let it be. So you must have seen this is your telescope and this is your eyepiece. So eyepiece is generally rotated left or right, inward or outward, in order to make the diaphragm clear. So generally a white paper has been provided in the front of that, so that you can clearly see the hairs, that is your vertical and your horizontal hair. So you need to turn the eyepiece inward or outward until your diaphragm is very clear, okay, clockwise or anti-clockwise, until the crosshair are appear distinct and sharp, because these crosshairs are required to take the observations. Okay, next, setting up of the vernier. So the vernier is set at 0 degree and vernier B at 180 degree. Okay, to do this, lower clamp is fixed. This is very important. To make the vernier 0 and the vernier be 180 degree, we need to fix the lower clamp. Okay, the upper clamp is loosened. So upper clamp is loosened, the upper place turn until the vernier, the arrow of the vernier, okay, approximately coincide with the 0. So you need to fix the lower clamp and you need to release the upper clamping screw. Okay, then the bring the vernier at 0 approximately. Okay, at vernier B approximately coinciding with 180 degree. So at point A it will be approximately at 0 and at point B it will be at 180 degree. Then the upper clamp is tightened. Okay, once it is approximately at 0 and 180 degree, you will fix the upper clamping screw. Okay, now by turning the upper tangent screw, the arrow is, now you will have to do what? You will turn the upper tangent screw arrow so that bring the position exactly coincide with your 0 point. Okay, so this is how your vernier has been set at 0. So whenever you are making the vernier 0, you will have to fix the lower clamp and release the upper clamp and approximately coincide with 0 and 180 degree, 0 at vernier A and 180 degree at B. And with the help of upper tangent screw, perfectly coincide with your 0 and 180 degree. Okay, next one. Okay, over here you can see that there is a vernier over here. Okay, so you will have to bring this 0 and this 0 exactly coincide. Okay, with the help of the clamping screws. Then there is permanent adjustment of the theodolites. So this permanent adjustment we will see in the last. Okay, first we will see the different methods of your theodolites. Permanent adjustment we will see in the last of this lecture. Okay,